Hi, today I am going to be breaking down Sun Salutation for you in this Foundations Beginners mini class that I've created today. The reason we're breaking Sun Salutation down is that it is one of those foundational flows. You're gonna, knowing this combination of Sun Salutation A and B is gonna give you the confidence to go to pretty much any yoga class. You're gonna be able to keep up with the different variations that the teacher may put in there. Also, knowing it really helps you grow as a yogi, so that way if you're practicing at home on your own, you're at least familiar with this flow and combination that can help you just really create any type of great class. I'm going to show you where you can stick in modifications and add in different poses to just change it up a bit outside of the traditional Sun Salutation. My name's Chelsea, and this is my yoga dog Drake, so he'll be popping in and out of this practice with us today because he loves yoga too. So we're going to get started with taking the top of our mat. This flow begins in a pose called mountain pose or Tadasana, and we're going to just get comfortable with our posture. So pull the shoulders down the back, pull the tailbone in underneath, make sure you're not feeling like you're leaning, standing up nice and straight, pulling up out of the hips, just getting connected with that mountain pose. Big breath in. Exhale it out. This time on the inhale, bring those arms up, reaching up nice and slow. And then beginning our Sun Salutation, we're going to exhale, emptying all the air out of us, forward fold. And as you forward fold, make sure you're leading with the heart forward and you're not like pushing the hips way back here. A lot of times I see people start to fold and then they do this number. That's actually a little strenuous on our hamstrings. So as you breathe in, reach up and forward fold. Lead with the heart, feeling the hips stay stacked underneath of you and that you're not really exaggerating a push back. I mean, there may be a little. And keep folding, exhaling, letting it go, bringing the belly to the legs. Very good. Drop the head wherever you're at. Reach forward if you can't touch the toes. Reach for the ankles or the shins. And then continue to feel that balance directly over the hips being stacked over the feet. You'll feel it if you're leaning backwards. You'll feel like your balance is off. So bring yourself forward, stack those hips. Very good. And then we inhale, halfway lift, coming to a flat back. As you come to a flat back, push the shoulders down the spine, pushing them toward the tailbone, lengthening the spine. Big breath in. Exhale, forward fold. And from here to get us into plank, moving through our Sun Salutation, you can hop, float, or you can simply just step yourself back into this plank position. So finding that nice alignment, pushing through the heels, and then pulling the belly button up and in. We don't want to drop our hips or be too much up into a plank. So we really want to hold that plank position here. And again, pulling those shoulder blades down the back versus being rounded up like this or crushing in this way. Be nice and strong, pulling those shoulder blades down. So that's our plank position here. Next, coming into chaturanga, you can break that plank and bring the knees down if you've never done chaturanga before. And chaturanga is a bit like a tricep push-up. So from here, you're going to keep those elbows tucked in nice and tight and slowly lower down to the floor. So that's your modification if you've never done chaturanga before and your triceps aren't quite at the strength. You know, it's your very first time doing this pose. Try this modification first and be compassionate with the beginning steps of this journey. So again, back, if you do have some strength, maybe you've done a few and this is just building the foundations of your practice, And you can do that chaturanga, so staying up in that plank position, holding it nice and tight, and then keeping that gaze just between the hands as you lower down. You even want to give yourself a little shift forward and lower down and release and untuck those toes. Now, the first time through of a sun salutation, it is always nice to kind of just pop right into cobra here. Sphinx, or you can come up to a cobra for a gentle back bend, especially if your spine is tight. A full upward facing dog is a little challenging and difficult right in the very beginning before the spine is loosened up. So bringing yourself up, cobra, and then you will transition to the next flow. If you feel warmed up or your practice is at this point, you can push all the way up into upward facing dog. Again, notice the points. I'm wrapping my thighs in toward each other. I'm holding my lower abs tight as possible while still trying to talk. My thighs are off the ground and my shoulders are pulled down and back. Take a moment to get connected with that upward facing dog and feeling how you're really pushing up and pushing in. So taking that upward facing dog one more time for me. And even try coming from your chaturanga. So starting here at the chaturanga, lower down, release, untuck those toes. Now push up, upward facing dog, wrapping in. Very good. To transition, you can drop to the knees, tuck the toes, push up, push back, downward facing dog. So again, that is a kind of a beginner's modification from getting from upward facing dog to downward facing dog. You can also come from this pose by untucking the toes right here and pushing up and back. Again, just depending on your arm strength. Downward facing dog is actually the close of Sun Salutation A. So we will then inhale after staying here 3 big breaths. Breathe in, let it out. Big breath in. Exhale, let it out. Big breath in, lift onto the toe, tippy toes. Inhale, or exhale, bend the knees, look forward, and then taking that right foot, stepping forward to the front of the mat, coming to forward fold. Inhale, gently roll it all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart. Take just a couple moments there to let the blood come down from being upside down. Whew. Taking that Tadasana, that mountain pose. So let's go through that Sun Salutation A only. One more time, placing in those modifications that work well for your practice. And we're going to flow through that one time together, going nice and slow, and again, making those modifications. So let's start with mountain pose or Tadasana, holding it nice and tall. Big breath in, lift those arms up. And exhale, forward fold, leading with the heart. And drop the head. Big breath, let it out. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Bending the knees, place the hands on the mat. Step back into that plank position any way that you can get there. Nice and strong, hold it here. Big breath in, exhale, chaturanga, make your modification. And again, cobra or upward facing dog, make your modifications. And going to downward facing dog. Exhale, let it out, 3 big breaths. Last breath, breathe in, lift onto those toes. Exhale, bend the knees and look forward, and step to the front of the mat. Forward fold. Inhale, roll up. And exhale, hit start. Very good. All right, so we're going to add on to that into what we call Sun Salutation B. I'm going to go this direction now for this flow. This is where we add in our warriors, and we travel from that downward facing dog using three-legged dog, coming up into our warriors and really gathering a sense of our balance as we move from the floor to standing. You are going to feel the heart rate start to elevate. If you notice kind of in my talking and breath work, it's really coming in handy to be breathing properly and breathing as you move through each pose. So we're going to take it, learning the next section, since we've learned the Sun Salutation A, which is the beginning of our Sun Salutation B. We're going to take this part of the class to starting just from downward facing dog. So go ahead and get yourself into downward facing dog any way that works well for you. And from this downward facing dog, take the right foot a little center to the mat. Inhale, lift the left leg up. Keep the shoulders forward. Really feel that nice extension, driving the heel to the ground of the right foot. Big breath in, and exhale as you drive that right foot to the front of the mat. And now you've come to this runner's lunge position. If you look at my back heel, the heel is up. And what I'm going to do before I lift myself up into Warrior One is I'm going to drop that back heel, and my foot is at about a 45-degree angle toward the front. And here I'm going to squeeze my belly in and take my arms, inhale, rise all the way up, squeezing the belly, squeezing in, and lunging forward. Driving that back pinky toe toward the mat, so that way it's not lifting up like this, but pushing down. Big breath. Exhale. My hips are facing forward as well as my shoulders. If I really want to feel a stretch, I could bring the hands together above the head. Ooh. Big breath. We're going to rotate to Warrior Two. So in Warrior Two, our arms come out to the side. The back foot turns 90 degrees from the front of my mat. And I'm lunging into this front leg. I'm letting the hips really open up. My heels are in line with each other, sinking in. And I'm also, I know you can't see it really, but I'm not letting my butt stick out behind me. A lot of times I see people doing warrior like this, where they're standing this way with their butt out behind them. You need to pull it in underneath of you, so that way you are a straight line. And the head is turned looking over the front hand. So no big duck booty warriors. We all got a nice booty, but we're not sticking it out behind us this time. Woo! Falling over. And again, shoulders opened up to the side, looking over that hand. Relaxing the shoulders. And then from here, we reverse that warrior, leaning backwards, stretching, elongating through this front of the body and the torso, even tightening the abs a little bit to support our lower back. And Warrior Two again. From here, you will find a lot of teachers will straighten the front leg and take you into triangle. So triangle, our back toe is still facing to the side, the front leg is straight, our shoulders are rotating open, this top arm is stacked right over the shoulder, so it's not way back here or turned this way. I see a lot of people kind of do this. Palm is forward. From here, another class modification you could see is that the front knee will bend, and you will take it into what we call extended side angle. The arm goes across the head, shoulders, you're still rotating through, opening through that hip. And then traditionally from here, people will rotate you down this way. They may bring you back to downward or warrior two, and then pinwheel you down to this position, stepping that foot back any comfortable way that you can into your downward facing dog. Inhale, lift onto those toes, bend the knees and look forward, and step or float to the front of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, gently roll it up. And exhale, hands to heart. Closing the eyes, taking a couple breaths, steadying that breath. Heart rate should be elevated a little bit going through that flow. And let's prepare to go to the other side, breathing in, taking the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, pushing those shoulder blades down the back. Exhale, forward fold. Placing those hands on the mat, we're going through the full Sun Salutation A right into B, Chaturanga, and upward facing dog. Remember to make your modifications. And downward facing dog. Exhale, let it down. Inhale, lifting that right leg up high behind you, three-legged dog. Really feel that extension. Exhale, bring it all the way forward to the front of the mat. This is where we're going to drop that back heel 45 degrees in from the front of your mat. Gather your balance. Inhale, bring it up, warrior one. Remembering those modifications, if you want a more intense stretch in the shoulders, bring the hands together. Pinky toe is pushing toward the mat. Hips are facing forward, and we're squeezing to the center. And warrior two, lunging into that front leg. The back foot turns 90 degrees. From the front of our mat, we're looking over, we're pulling our tailbone in underneath of us. And gazes forward. Reverse that warrior. And bring it back forward. Straighten the front leg, taking those extensions of triangle. And bending that front knee, taking the top arm over, extended side angle. Coming down to the mat and stepping the foot back, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift onto the toes, bend the knees and look forward, and step to the front of our mat, forward fold. Inhale, gently roll it up. Exhale, hands to heart. Again, taking that moment to let the blood come down. Thank you for tuning in and listening to this and following along with this short mini practice of breaking down Sun Salutation A and B. Go back through this, listen to it again, practice this flow, start with Sun Salutation A. I recommend trying to go through that at least twice to 4 times, and then moving on to adding Sun Salutation B and bringing yourself up into the warriors 2 times through on right and left side. So again, I hope this builds your practice. You can take these foundations and confidently go to any class that you desire in your local area. For more videos, subscribe to this YouTube channel and check out the comments and descriptions below of this video for my website and more classes and tutorials that I offer. Thank you so much. Namaste. Till I meet you again, my name is Chelsea Fox with Indigo Vibes, and I hope you have a fabulous day.